So we got to one of the first places we went to is like a big meadow. So it was like one of the things I saw on the wall.
This
And
is you and Marzuka?
yes, Marzuka. Yeah, me and Marzuka. So we went to this meadow, which wasn't too far down the road from the Welcome Center, but it was an amazing place. Just lush groupings of flowers, and the flowers, the colors were multicolored. When I say multicolored, I mean like the colors would like blend together, and it's not like a red flower or a yellow flower. They were like all colors all blended together. It was just beautiful. The grass was luscious. You could step on it and it'd spring right back up. It was really soft. You could probably sleep on it and have a great night's sleep if you slept in heaven. And I saw my niece. Okay, so my niece she passed away about a week before she was supposed to get married. And so that was pretty tragic. And so when I got to see her, she looked beautiful. And everybody I saw looked like they were, in great shape. They were all looked young. Everybody looked like they were in their mid 20s to 30 years of age. And everybody looked healthy. Everybody had, if you're bald on earth, you'll have a full head of hair in heaven. That's all I can say is because my dad.
That's good to know.
My dad had a lot of thin hair when he was on earth, but he had a full head of hair when I saw him. So I saw my mom and dad. I saw my
And
brother.
is this in this meadow? They came up to you?
Yeah, I'm kind of like jumping around, but
okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
But okay, so first I saw my dogs. We had a bunch of dogs, and I saw like 8 of them. And when they had all died old age and not in very good shape, they're all looking fantastic, amazing, healthy, beautiful, lush coats. We had a bunch of Huskies and Great Pyrenees. They just looked amazing. And I saw, and they know me. They came up to me. It's like everybody knew I was there. Everybody seemed to find me, which was made my life easy, I guess, or my trip up there. I didn't have to hunt anyone down, but like the dogs knew me and I got to play with them. And that was a lot of fun. And then I saw a friend of mine named Gary that I used to work with. And he was kind of tall. He was about 6'2", maybe 6'3". And he was he was overweight. Okay. He could have lost a few pounds, but I saw him in heaven. I said, "Hey, Gary, how do you like it here?" Which I know is kind of a silly question, but you've never been there. You're trying to find out what people are thinking, And he said, "Well, I love it here because I can eat whatever I want to and not gain any weight." And so that's a plus, You can eat what you want. You don't gain weight. And I got to eat a little bit of stuff while I was up there, and it was amazing. It tasted
really?
Yes.
Like what? Well,
I got to eat something that was like an apple, except it was like a round copper-colored fruit. That's the best I can describe it, except it's not as big as a grapefruit, and it tasted very, very similar to an apple. That was just amazing. And then I love vanilla ice cream. I know it's kind of bland maybe to some people, but I love it. And this was like I got to eat some of the best vanilla ice cream that I've ever had. I mean, it was just amazing.
Really?
Yes. And It doesn't melt. It didn't melt. So it's not like you have to keep licking it to keep it from dripping. So
but it's cold. It's cold like ice cream?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I know. I've heard it so many times, but it still does blow me away, quite honestly. Like we're not going to miss anything from this life, are we?
No, we're not going to miss anything. I mean, because there's a lot of stuff we're missing here. Okay?
Yeah.
We're there. Heaven is just a shadow. Earth is just a shadow of heaven.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of a bad shadow because of Adam's fall, it was probably just like a sliver of heaven down on earth. Now it's like, the refuse,
Yeah.
Even the most
corrupted.
Yes. Well, even the most beautiful places on earth pale to what's in heaven.
Yeah.
The aromas and smells that I could remember smelling in heaven are just amazing. And it's hard to describe. I get excited when I start talking about it. I try not to get too wound up about it, but when you start talking about it, you just can't talk about it and be quiet.
I understand. I do. Well, keep going. Tell us some of the other things that.
Sure. I got to see my mom and dad. I hadn't, my mom passed away about I guess about 15 years ago. Well, I guess at the time it had been about 11 years ago. And she looked nice and young, looked beautiful. My dad was about the same. He looked nice and young and very handsome. And, like I said, I had a full head of hair. I saw my brother. Now, my brother died about he was my older brother, and he passed away about 6 months after we got married, and I was, everybody missed him because he was such a good guy. But, I was like, okay, I'm newly married. Teddy's been married for a long time. I got to pick his brain and figure out how to navigate the life of being married, and then he was gone. And I'm like, oh man, who am I going to ask, because I was close to him, not as close as I would have liked to have been, but I was fairly close with him. Anyway, it was so good to see him. And we hugged each other. I told him I missed him. I said, well, it's so good to see you. You've been gone for like 30 years. And he goes, it feels like I just got here,
Wow. Really?
Yeah. It's like.
So he wasn't just saying that. He was saying he was actually surprised. It had been 30 years.
People said that, there's like really no concept of time. So it's not like you just, there's really no time in heaven. So you don't really know how much earth time has passed, maybe. But we're going to be in heaven for eternity. And it's going to, what's that song? We've been there for 10,000 years.
10,000 years.
And
yeah. Seems like a day.
Yeah. So, so that's exactly what he was experiencing. And,
And that's why I guess, you never get bored, right? Because boredom requires time.
Well, yeah. And there's always things to do. One of the biggest things I saw in heaven was a baseball game. And, God is
a baseball game.
I used to have some kind of strange ideas about heaven until I went there. In one of my conversations with Marzuki, he said people need to expand their concept of heaven because it's a lot more than what our little minds can sometimes comprehend or even think. But yeah, there's baseball in heaven, and there's probably football and basketball and other things too. But I just,
what about soccer?
I'm sure it's probably there.
It's the world sport. It's got to be there.
All those Europeans have to have something to play,
Well, me too. I just got over a broken ankle. I play soccer still, and they broke my ankle. So hopefully no broken ankles there.
Well, the baseball game, nobody wore masks or vests, protection vests or stuff like that because you don't get hurt in heaven.
Interesting.